In politics, there are moments that leave the world confused, moments that blur the line between strategy and obsession, and moments that reveal more about a leader's mindset than any official speech ever could. One such moment is the fascination of Donald Trump with North Korea's leadership, particularly the strongman who rules one of the most secretive and repressive states on earth. It is a relationship that has drawn admiration, ridicule, suspicion, and alarm all at the same time, and the big question that continues to haunt the global stage is simple. Why can't Trump walk away from one of the most brutal dictatorships in modern history? To understand this, you have to go back to the spectacle that unfolded during Trump's presidencies. Against all odds, the American president, who thrived on conflict and confrontation, decided to embrace a figure long treated as a pariah in international politics. In meetings that were choreographed like Hollywood blockbusters, Trump and Kim Jong-un exchanged handshakes, smiles, and even love letters, as Trump himself described them. For Trump, it was the ultimate show of his deal-making skills, proof that he could accomplish what no other leader had managed. For the rest of the world, however, it was a stunning moment of political theater where the leader of the world's most powerful democracy openly courted the dictator of a country notorious for censorship, prison camps, and nuclear threats. Now, critics argue that Trump's fascination wasn't just about diplomacy. It was about image. Trump always saw the world through the lens of branding, optics, and personal chemistry. To him, politics wasn't about long, boring negotiations or subtle diplomacy. It was about the big moment, the bold headline, the historic handshake that cameras would never forget. And in Kim Jong-un, Trump saw an opportunity for just that, a rival-turned-partner, a foil that elevated Trump's stage presence as a global power broker. But here's the darker reality. While Trump smiled for the cameras, North Korea continued its crackdown at home, silencing dissent, tightening its grip on its people, and expanding its nuclear arsenal. The promise of peace on the Korean peninsula remained exactly that, a promise. Yet Trump refused to let go of his unusual admiration for Kim. Instead of seeing him as a ruthless dictator, Trump often described him in terms that bordered on admiration, highlighting their great relationship and strong bond. This is where the unease deepens. For many analysts, Trump's approach blurred the lines between diplomacy and endorsement. A handshake is one thing, but repeatedly praising a dictator risks normalizing a regime that thrives on fear and oppression. And yet, Trump seemed captivated. It wasn't just about foreign policy, it was personal. He liked the drama, the suspense, the narrative of two powerful men breaking all the rules and rewriting history together. But why does this matter now? Because it speaks volumes about Trump's worldview, his instincts, and the way he engages with power. Trump has always admired strongmen. From Vladimir Putin to Xi Jinping, his pattern has been consistent. He respects leaders who project dominance, who don't answer to anyone, who appear untouchable. To Trump, that is not a flaw but a strength. And in Kim Jong-un, he saw perhaps the most extreme example of that strength. Of course, the irony is impossible to ignore. While Trump praised Kim, millions of North Koreans remained trapped in poverty, isolation, and repression. Stories of prison camps, torture, and absolute censorship were overshadowed by the glowing rhetoric of historic friendship. The contrast between the brutal reality on the ground and the glossy images of summits was stark, almost surreal. And yet Trump wouldn't quit the fascination. Some say it was about legacy. Trump wanted a Nobel Peace Prize moment, a chance to cement his name in history as the man who finally solved the North Korea puzzle. Others say it was about ego, the thrill of being at the center of global attention, the star of the ultimate geopolitical drama. And perhaps both explanations are true. But beyond Trump's personal ambitions, this strange relationship raises uncomfortable questions about how modern politics operates. Are we so obsessed with the optics of diplomacy that we forget the human cost? Do handshakes and photo ops matter more than genuine change? And how dangerous is it when a leader values personal chemistry with a dictator more than the principles of democracy and human rights? The fascination continues to echo even now, years after those historic meetings. Trump still speaks fondly of his bond with Kim, as if the relationship itself is proof of success, regardless of the absence of real progress. And that is the heart of the controversy. For Trump, the connection was the accomplishment. For the world, it was a reminder of how fragile international norms can be when personal admiration takes priority over accountability. Look at it this way: dictators thrive on legitimacy. They crave recognition from global powers because it strengthens their hold at home. By embracing Kim so openly, Trump gave him exactly what he wanted: legitimacy on the world stage. And while Kim walked away stronger, Trump walked away with little more than flattering letters and photo ops. The nuclear issue remains unresolved, the sanctions remain in place, and the people of North Korea remain voiceless. And yet, the image of Trump and Kim laughing together, shaking hands across a table, remains burned into the world's memory. It was historic, yes, but historic for what? For the progress that never came, or for the spectacle that showed how far personal admiration can stretch the boundaries of diplomacy? This is why the question lingers, and why it sparks so much debate. Why can't Trump let go of his admiration for a dictator who represents everything the United States has historically opposed? Perhaps the answer lies not in geopolitics, but in Trump himself. He has always valued strength over subtlety, loyalty over principle, and drama over detail. To him, Kim was not just a dictator. He was a character in Trump's global stage play, a co-star in a drama that elevated Trump's image as a bold, unconventional leader. The danger, of course, is that politics is not a reality show. The stakes are real nuclear weapons, human rights, global stability. And when admiration clouds judgment, the risks become greater. The world cannot afford to normalize dictatorship for the sake of theatrics. And yet, that is what we witnessed, a blurring of lines, a rewriting of rules, and a spectacle that continues to shape how we think about leadership, diplomacy, and power in the modern age. So when we ask why Trump can't quit the world's worst dictator, maybe the answer is simple: because he doesn't want to. Because in his eyes, Kim Jong-un isn't just a dictator. He's a symbol of the kind of power Trump admires most: absolute, unchecked, and unapologetic. And that, more than anything else, explains why this unusual fascination refuses to fade.